Well, welcome back, the 6 faculties of the mind as it relates to chiropractic. Now over here we talked about memory, will, perception, imagination, intuition, and reason. And I asked you in the last video to figure out which is your weakest link. Have you decided that yet? Put it in the back of your mind. We're going to come back to that in a second. Now let's relate this to chiropractic. In chiropractic, we have a saying, and it goes like this. The power that made the body is the same power that heals the body. But it's also the same power that controls our ability to adapt. If it's cold outside, we shiver. Our ability to regulate the pulse that you have, how fast your heart is beating right now, in this situation is perfect for you. Your body just regulates that on its own. Next is our ability to heal. You cut your finger, it's going to heal on its own without you even thinking about it. And then finally is our growing. Not just physically like this to become the 5-foot or 6-foot hunk of cells that you are right now, but I'm talking about mentally, the unfolding process of you. And that process is continuing until the day you die. And so much of that, our growth, our personal growth, ties in to our 6 mental faculties, and that's why it's so important. That's why I'm talking about it today. Now in physics, there's a certain supply, and if it flows into another container, you might say, it's going to flow to the bottom first, right? Well, with our body, we have all of these functions that we need to carry out, but there's priorities. We have to be able to survive before we can thrive, right? If we're hanging out around this situation where we're just struggling to adapt, you know, if you're gonna negotiate a peace deal with Vladimir Putin, you don't want to be standing in Moscow in the middle of winter wearing a t-shirt. You can't think higher thoughts when you're doing that. Or you can't write a very good song probably if you're starving, if you're really, really hungry, because your only gut instinct at that time is to feed your gut, okay? So we have to make sure that our adaptive and regulatory functions are being met before we can even deal with this. Now with chiropractic, when your spine is subluxated, when you have spinal imbalance or body imbalance, as we like to call it around here, you are struggling to even regulate. You're struggling maybe even to adapt. Maybe it was difficult to even get in the car and drive here. Is we want to take care of a person no matter where they're at here, because we say that if there's dis-ease, if there's spinal dis-ease, if there's nerve dis-ease, if the mental impulse isn't getting to the body correctly because of spinal imbalance or body imbalance, we want to remove that so a person can flow up in this direction as much as possible. Now let's go back here. Which one are you weak on? Which one do you need to improve? I want you to commit, figure out in your calendar right now, sometime over the next 2 weeks, I want you to go to the library and figure out how you can research, how can you improve at one of these areas. Just think of the impact that that could have on your life. So use your ability to reason. Think which one of these is weak. Recall yourself succeeding from the past so that you can have confidence as you undertake this goal. Use your perception to make sure that your goal is realistic. Imagine yourself accomplishing that and what it's going to feel like so that you have the willpower to carry through. Maybe you need to spend some time on this. Use your intuition to figure out what is really important to you so that when you get that, when you achieve that, it's not just the goal itself, but it's the type of person that you become in the process. Thanks for watching.